everybody, it's Saturday video 53. And look who I've got with us, Maudi. You've all been writing to me madly this week going, when's Maudi doing a video? When's Maudi? So here we are.
Hello.
Yes, there are so many questions that we're going to try and get through them all. So I'll ask you, how long have you been a vegan for? That's from Heather.
Well, I decided to become a vegetarian when I was about 15 years old, and slowly after 2 years later at 17. So that leaves me at about 12 years.
Wow. Okay. Kathleen wants to know, if she goes to someone's house for dinner and they're vegan, what can she take? You know, like if you say, oh, can I bring this? Oh, can you bring this or that? What would you take over if you...
I would probably sprout some garbanzo beans, lightly steam them, and then puree them in a mixer. So with an S blade, not a Vitamix, but an S blade with some good herbs and tahini and olive oil to taste, and bring something like that. Maybe a pate or a raw tart or a raw dessert or a vegan dessert. That's what I would bring over.
Very nice. Are there any good vegan recipe books out there that you like? This is from Susie. She's got IBS, she's gluten and dairy sensitive, so she's trying to think of simple, creative ways to make good meals.
Definitely, there is a wonderful book out there written by Rita Romano. She's one of the oldest vegan raw food macrobiotic teachers in the US. And her book is very self-explanatory and open and easy to follow. It's called Dining in the Raw.
Yes, and we'll be doing one soon, so you'll be able to buy that. That's going to be so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to make it as simple and beautiful as possible.
Yes, it will. It'll be great. Might be a few months off yet, but we're doing it.
Yes.
Okay, Shaz said she's seriously thinking about becoming a vegetarian. She's experimented in the past and she feels like she gets tired and lacks energy when she doesn't have meat. And she's saying, has she just not discovered something? Is there some sort of vegetarian/vegan protein option that you would suggest?
Well, what I would suggest is stay away from protein bars and bars in general and starchy foods. A lot of people who become vegan try to eat a lot of beans, rice, and you know, processed
wanting to
things.
fill themselves
yeah,
up with
and maybe frozen organic vegan things. But the best thing to do is eat a good amount of fruits in the morning, some nuts and some sprouted grains. And then for lunch, eat a lot of volume, lots of vegetables, a nice salad or a raw dish that you like from any cafe or health food store or something make yourself. And then for dinner, you want to eat your protein. So tempeh is a good alternative, tofu is, lentil burgers, nut and seed pates, all these types of things.
Which I had never heard of a tempeh before, so just briefly explain to them, because we have found one at the health food store here.
Yes. Well, we'll say the name of the package I found in Australia that I think is good, so you guys all know. But the one I make is just fermented white bean, and then I put in flax seeds and golden lentils and walnut oil and sea salt and a pear cranberry vinegar and a type of seaweed called agar that firms it up. And then it fermentates for anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. And
so this is a lengthy thing, guys. So
yeah, and I put it in like a meatloaf pan, so about this big, or loaf pan, and then I wrap it with a silk straining bag, twist it, and it sits out and ferments, and then it's ready. But there's one at your local store you can ask for tempeh. Another thing is sometimes when you become a vegan, what happens is you start detoxing from all the meat and the dairy and the preservatives and the things you were eating in the past. So you get tired in the first month, and that's normal. And then slowly after, your body will adapt, but those things are leaving your system.
Really?
So that might be why you're getting tired.
There, yeah.
And keep going.
Do you like microwaves? Kirsten wants to know.
No.
No. All right. No. Lydia, hang on. No. Marquita. Okay. Marquita says, I would like to ask what Maudi thinks about low glycemic eating. Choosing food based on the glycemic index. Do you apply the principles of low GI diet as well when preparing your food?
Everything I prepare is on low glycemic index. I don't give you anything that spikes your blood sugar levels and leaving you feeling hyper for an hour or 20 minutes and then drops you down to a low glycemic and would make you get low blood sugar and feel a little dizzy. So when you're eating a macrobiotic vegan diet or a raw diet, there are 3 different things. There's a vegan diet, there's a macrobiotic, and there's a raw diet. Macrobiotic means there's no dairy, there's no processed sugars, salts, meat, it's vegetables, fruit, legumes, nuts, seeds, and sprouts. And then you can either go raw with those or cook them in a macrobiotic way, meaning no grilling and no overheating them. And then, you know, the vegetarian and the vegan thing, those don't have anything to do with macrobiotic or raw. People sometimes who are vegans eat a lot of microwavable food, easy processed foods, and go to vegan places that can be just as bad for you as McDonald's. So those are the 3 different ones, and everything I teach is with the glycemic index.
Yeah. Wow. See, there's so much more to it than you realize. Like, even me just listening to that then, it's like, wow, it's a whole science, isn't it?
Yes.
Maudi studied for years doing all this stuff.
Yes. Agave is something they say is low glycemic index, but it actually isn't. New research shows. So if you are going to use, I actually try not to say I'm a vegan too much, because I once in a while do wear leather, or, you know, I have something on that does, or I eat honey. So I do eat honey, and I don't mind honey. But you want to stay away from agave, and I also use maple syrup. But other than that, I do not use any other sugars except date.
Dates are good in desserts, aren't they?
Oh, they're delicious.
Okay, Adele says, oh, how about a Maudi and Megan cooking DVD? Maybe, one day.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be fun. That would be fun. Is it true that green tea and lemon are fat burners?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really? They're fat burners. Green tea is a fat burner.
Oh yeah. It's great to get a big milk straining bag at the health food store, put a bunch of lemon peels in it, squeeze a bunch of lemons in your bath water with some Epsom salt, and also put some green tea bags in with that. You just get a milk straining bag. It's silk. Put all the lemon
how many lemons?
Pills in there. As many as you got.
Yeah.
10, 20, don't go to, you know, 30. And then put a bunch of green tea bags in there and sit it in your bathtub. It goes right through your bloodstream, right through your skin, right? And all your muscles and your tendons and your fat cells.
Wow. I like a fat burning tip. That's awesome.
Me too. Fat burning tub.
Yeah. What are good foods or drinks to eliminate fluid? You know, when you some people retain fluid.
The number 1 would be celery. Also, you can mix a little Epsom salt in there. That'll help you get rid of all the water retention. Celery with maybe a tablespoon of Epsom salt.
What's that taste like? Or is it just
It's not very good. You might want to put an apple in with the juice as well.
Yeah.
You know, right through a juicer. So go to a health food store, a juice bar, get a celery juice, take it home, mix in a little Epsom salts and lemon. Another one is cucumber juice. Rhubarb is excellent. Zucchini is number 1 also for inflammation and swelling. So all those types of juices will help. Other than that, watermelon also helps, and drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated is number 1.
Awesome. What are the best sources for vegan protein if you're trying to increase your muscle mass?
What would be the best would be spirulina, dulse. Dulse is high, it's an Atlantic sea vegetable, and iron and B12 and all the B vitamins that vegans and vegetarians are missing. You can get it in a powder, you can get it in a capsule. It's
how do you spell that?
D-U-L-S-E. And you can't miss it. It's a beautiful color, dark purple red. Those 2 would be your highest. Other than that, you can also get, you know, cultured tempeh like we're having. It has 20 grams per serving. The block is about this big, and so it serves 4. So 20, 40, there's 80 grams of protein in a block about this wide and this thin. That's an excellent source of protein. Also, mixing your vegetables with a grain or a legume or a bean. These are all standard old-fashioned ways of veganism. Those will create a whole protein, or beans and rice, or legumes and rice. Or, you know, you don't ever want to mix fruit with legumes or vegetables with fruits. You want to stay away from that, and to get a whole protein. Yeah.
What does that do?
Statistically, they've been saying it builds a complex protein that absorbs with your body quicker and faster for more protein. But if you stay out of that, you know, new research is saying that your body turns a lot of things into protein, and you don't need those combination skills. But the number 1 being in vegan is balancing your B vitamins with iron, and your iron with your protein. If you're eating protein but you're missing the iron and the B12, you're not going to build your blocks of the proper protein in your body, and you won't feel it. So just make sure you're getting a lot of iron and you're getting a lot of B vitamins, and then all the food you're eating will properly absorb and become protein in your body.
Wow.
liquid iron is at your health food store, capsuled. Dulse has it, beets have it, bee pollen. All these things are excellent sources of iron.
I'm going to call you Dr. Maudi from now on.
Thank you.
Okay, Shauna says, what do you know about shingles? She's unfortunately got shingles and she's got no idea how she got it, and is there something nutritionally she can do for that?
You know, it's so different why everybody gets diseases and everything like that. We're completely different individuals, but my grandmother had them and she suffered with them for a very long time. Typically, you don't want to sit around too much. You want to have a regular exercise routine. Sometimes I know it's hard when you have these situations, but you know, follow a pattern, keep a diary. Remind yourself when, you know, if you write your food out every day, go over it and see when it starts reacting and acting up. And maybe take that lifestyle out once you follow a pattern with your diary, because everyone's different. But typically, you know, it's good to do things like in a pool, water aerobics. And a lot of pull exercises where you're floating and you're not putting pressure on your legs. That'll help out a lot. And again, drink a lot more water, balance out your B vitamins and your iron, and make sure you're getting a lot of alkalinity like I've talked about in the videos. Lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Take out a lot of salts, processed meats, cheeses, boxed grains, and you know, cereals and crackers and cookies and all these things. Just take them out of your diet completely. Crap.
It's true, actually. Okay. Emily says, what are the best vegetables for growing kids, growing toddlers? Like if you had a little baby running around, what would you
best, you know, I don't have any kids, but hopefully one day I do. But the best thing for growing young adult is to have more carbohydrates in their diet, because everything breaks down into sugar, and those are great for energy sourcing for them. So yams, you know, red potatoes, white potatoes, carrots, pumpkins, squashes, you know, sprouted grains. There's a lot of bread companies out of there that are not processed, they're not flour, they're made from whole grain. You want to read the back, make sure you see sprouted grains in the bread. Back at home we have a bread called Ezekiel. I don't know if you have that here in Australia.
Keep talking, I'm just
but a
checking the camera.
Sprouted grain bread, nut butters, peanut butter, healthy jams made with just pear or apple juice, no sugar added to them. If they are sugar added, you want to make sure they're organic sugar. You know, all these types of food are awesome for children. Also, kids tend to like, you know, pureed things. So if you make some vegetables, puree down some spinach, maybe add in some other greens that they like, but every child's a little different and they're all going to react differently to them.
I have to turn the video off every 10 minutes because it's funny, because cameras like this, they're only designed to work for 10 minutes, otherwise they would be classified as a video. They actually have to turn it off. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
So that's why we stop and start. Okay.
Did you just tell me that it wasn't on?
No, it's on. Oh, we're on. Okay. Okay. Why did you become vegan? From Claire. Hello, Claire.
All right. So I became vegan because growing up in my family, there has never been one. And a lot of people, as my cousins grew up, they tended to gain weight. And we are typically bone, you know, we have small bones, we have long limbs. We're built to be lankier people. And it's unusual when you start seeing your family change, especially my older cousins and things like that. They all became very obese, unfortunately. So that scared me out a lot, and they ate a lot of meat and dairy and processed foods. So that's the typical reason. And then as I got into it and did the research myself, it just shows that, you know, we are a chemical reaction like everything in life. You watch a plant, you put coffee, you know, on it, coffee grounds, plants are okay. You water them with reclaimed water, they're okay. They can adapt to certain things. But for instance, if you put alcohol or you put a lot of salt or you put a lot of sugar on a plant, it would deteriorate instantly. Human beings—
Is that right?
It would, within, you know, 24 hours, 48 hours. We're a higher resolution of life. We can handle a lot more abuse. Our bodies could go through life with complete poisons every day, you know, alcohol, meat, dairy, these things, and adapt. But the quality of life is what you're looking at, how aware you're actually going to be. So after reading and being a young adult and making the decisions not to eat horribly and to eat very healthy and not to drink and do drugs, I felt a huge change in myself. I lost a lot of weight. I went from a 14 to about a 2. And my whole life changed the way I think, see, eat, and do. So that's why I became a vegan, and that's why I'm this way.
That's such a unusual thing for someone to do at that age, because, you know, kids of that age think, it takes a fairly mature person, I think. I mean, if there's any young people out there, really listen to these words, because what Paul always says to Zoe is, if I can teach you now, you know, instead of you having to go through all the experiences, things he's learned, then you're just that 10 steps ahead. So listen to this, because it's so true, and you don't necessarily need to get to that point to come back again. You can just be there now.
Yeah, I actually felt younger in my bones and my skin than I ever have in my whole life. So, you know,
I'm feeling good too with you being here. I don't want you to go home.
I mean, I sit up straight, I talk, you know, I exercise every day. I don't ever feel drained.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wonderful feeling. So go out there and feel the magic and get a hold of it and learn yourself, because we all, you know, we all need to feel this good in life.
I agree. I agree. Okay, Tippy says she replaces her sugar with rice malt syrup, and she wants to know, what do you think of rice malt syrup?
Well, we've been using rice syrup here in some of our breakfast desserts. But you know, I want you to realize, if it is malt, I've never heard of that one. It probably has sugar added with the rice syrup, and rice syrup is naturally sweetened, is a low glycemic index, so it's not going to make you go up
you don't need
and
the
then
malt
go down. But I don't know about the malt. Never heard about that, and it probably does have sugar. So next time, just get rice syrup.
But not a lot of it, or, you know, like,
you know,
it's
a
just like a
tablespoon or
sweetener.
2 a day. It shouldn't hurt you whatsoever. It's the same thing as rice, basically.
Kirsten says she loves that we're having fun. She's got a sweet tooth. What are some healthier alternatives of sweet things without all of the sugar?
You can get a lot of raw books and vegan books and, you know, vegan baking around. And typically, if there is sugar in them, the books, stay away from those books. Look for ones that are adding maple syrup, honey, agave. Agave is even better than sugar. Dates, raw cacao, coconut butter, shea butter.
Don't get me started on coconut butter. That's the best thing I've ever found.
Stay
had a jar in the pantry. It's so delicious.
Oh, it is good. But that's the kind of fat that you should be eating. It actually lowers your cholesterol levels. It helps you, cleanses your colon. It lubes it up, moves the food through it. Coconut oil is awesome, and butter. Coconut butter, not real butter.
Coconut butter is what I'm saying.
And make sure that you do stay away from, you know, things like sugar, processed wheats, and these types of things, and go for maybe soy flour, almond meal, coconut meal, soy flour, those type of things.
Okay, Denise says her partner is diabetic. Can you recommend anything that will reduce his sugar level without drugs? Now, first of all, you just got to remember that this is just our advice. This is not, you know, maybe you should discuss it with your doctor what Maudi's going to say, because, you know, if he's on a medicine, he just takes metformin twice a day. But this is her recommendation, what she would say.
You know, it depends what type of diabetes are out there, if it developed in his life from the food intakes, because if they have developed diabetes due to their diet, then you would take out meat and dairy. Those are the #1 reason people develop diabetes, is sugar, red meat, dairy, and alcohol. All those things lead to diabetes eventually. That's why children are getting it from, you know, Coca-Cola, you know, pop, soda, all these types of things. And so you want to eliminate that completely out of their diet, and they should have a whole food content, meaning whole foods, grains, nuts, seeds, sprouts, legumes, vegetables, and fruits. Those things will lead to an open door to a new healthy lifestyle without medication. But if it's the type of diabetes that someone is born with, I can't go into that very further because everyone's so different, and the best thing to do would just stay away from sugars, eat a lot more complex carbohydrates and vegetables, and stay away from sugar. If you do eat sugar, make sure it's fruit.
Yes. Anne says she's curious to know what you can share about lentil soups since the cooler weather is approaching. You know, hey, everyone loves soup in the winter. How about hot soups generally? I'm thinking it might be best to blend raw vegetables first and briefly heat them up rather than cook them for so long and deplete the nutrients.
All right, so we've been making raw soups here at Megan's house.
So good.
Delicious. What you want to do when you're having them, especially lentils are great cooked. There's nothing wrong with lentils, beans, rice, being cooked. That's a natural good state for them. I actually promote it. Sometimes you'll see people sprouting rice and then serving it, you know, not slightly heated. So if you are gonna have a lentil
they just
soup,
sprout it and that's it.
yeah, and then they blend it and slightly heat it, and it tastes a little hard and funny because it's not, and it's actually harder for you to digest. So lentils are best when they're cooked. If you are gonna do a raw soup, the best thing to do is sprout them. You soak them in the morning, rinse them, and then fill the water up again. In the morning, rinse them, fill them up with water again, and then eventually you'll see a tail come. So you keep doing that until you see the beans sprout. If you don't see it sprout in 4 days, it's done. Just rinse them, strain them, put them in a blender, so meaning an S-blade. What is yours called here? I call it a Cuisinart. What's that called again?
Magi mix or something.
Okay, Magi mix. Blend it up and then heat it slightly on the stove, take it off, and then make your broth. Roots, garlic, ginger, and hard herbs are better when they're heated as well. So heat those up.
Does that heating to a certain temperature though, isn't it, to make
Yeah, about 5 at the highest.
It's 5 on my thing. So what? So not boiling or anything like that. You don't boil them.
No.
You just have it.
You just heat the herbs, the hard herbs, and the hard roots. And once those are done, you turn them down, take the lentils you did earlier, put them in, add the water you want, the vinegars, whatever else you're gonna put in, and your sea salt, and that's a great way to cook lentils. Other than that, I do approve of them being cooked, so if you make a great lentil soup, I don't have a problem with them being cooked. I think that's a wonderful way for lentils to be prepared.
Nice.
Oh, and for vegetable soups, that's a great way to do them. Blend them in a Vitamix and then heat them up on the stove. Wonderful idea.
Doesn't the Vitamix heat?
No.
Doesn't it? I thought the Vitamix warmed foods up as well.
Nope.
Oh, I thought it did. Okay, I'm confused. Having not used the Vitamix. Okay. Okay. Christine says, do you make your own fermented foods? And I'll ask you that first because the other question is completely different. What do you think about fermented foods? Do you make your own?
Yeah, I make my own fermented foods at home. I make vinegar, I make sauerkraut, I make kimchi, I make all different types of loaves out of all different legumes, nuts, seeds, and sprouts. I make a vegan salami at home that's made from golden lentils, split peas. It's got wild oregano, sweet onion, all sorts of great stuff in it. And they're excellent for you. They clean out your intestinal tract. They will take someone who is extremely plugged up in the intestinal wall and colon and clean you out. They're living, they're enzyme rich. So when you're eating them, they're not just like a piece of meat or anything else like that. They're actually living. And the little bacteria that go in there and they eat all the junk through your intestinal wall and they keep going and going and going until they come out. So it's a very good thing to eat is fermented foods. Sauerkraut, kimchi, again, tempeh, you can get it here in Australia. I saw it all over the place. And also cultured probiotic yogurts are excellent. Dairy ones are fine, I don't eat them, but dairy probiotic yogurts are spectacular. In the States, we have a company called BioK that has 50 billion living organisms in them of fermented, probiotics in them, so yes.
Okay. Second part to that question is, what are your views on quality supplements? Do you take vitamins, or what do you think about buying vitamins, taking vitamins?
Back at home, I have in the past taken a product called Vitamineral Greens. I haven't seen it here in this country, but it's a complex, high chlorophyll, high green powder. All those are excellent for B vitamins, iron, and protein, and vitamins and minerals. It's a whole food powder. As long as it's vegan, I think it's a good idea. As for capsules and things like this, if you're traveling constantly and you're on planes and in hotel rooms, it's a wonderful thing to do because you can't get whole food as much. But other than that, if you're at home and your idea is to be healthy in your life, you should be getting in-season fruits and vegetables and eating lots of complex carbohydrates, nuts, seeds, sprouts, legumes.
It's really a lifestyle choice, everyone, because I mean, there's no point eating a crappy diet and then just filling up with vitamin pills, really, is there? I think, a lot of people think that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They think, oh, I'll eat the McDonald's, but I'll go and take a vitamin C or a vitamin B tablet.
It doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You got to have the alkalinity in your body to carry it through your blood, to pump it into your organs, to get your brain to be 100% conscious, and then from there your heart becomes healthy and your whole body. If one thing is infected, the whole body is affected. So make sure that you're getting regular sleep. You're getting 15 to 20% of your day exercise, and that you're eating a healthy, balanced diet. Therefore, when you do have things in your life that you're out of control, relationships, work, all this, you can handle it because you can feel that your body is whole and intact and balanced. So just stay with those things, rest, regular exercise, and a great diet.
Yeah. Okay. Mary says that she suffers from eczema, and at the moment she's got it on the inside of her right arm and her 2 big toes, and she scratches that a lot. Can you suggest a food to stay away from, or any that you should eat in particular?
Yeah, you want to stay away from bacon. I don't know if you eat bacon, but it's the worst. Red meat, really? Yes. Cheese. These are all fungi and bacteria. So if you do have anything in there, like you've got little microscopic things growing in there or whatever, they're just going to add into that and they're going to feed off of it and grow. Stay away from those. You want to eat a lot of cucumbers. Cucumbers are extremely high in vitamin E. They carry a nutrient-rich fat in them that are excellent for your skin. That's why we soak them on our eyes. Another thing is avocados, coconut oil, and lots of good almonds and things like this are going to help with that. Also, get organic coconut oil at the store and just rub it on your skin when you're in the bathtub or in the shower when you're wet, and then rinse it off. It'll help a lot with that. Also, bentonite clay. It's right there, actually. Megan, you want to grab it real quick?
Yeah.
This will actually, the directions are on the back, but we found it here. It's also in California.
I used this at the Pearl Laguna when I had a massive pimple on my face.
And it helps out quite, because it pulls it out, draws it out of you. It's an ancient Indian healing clay from the Aztecs, and it's like mud. It's awesome. It just sits right on your pores and it sucks it out.
We're doing a mask of it tonight, Paul, Zoe and I.
Yeah, you'll love it. So that's another great thing.
The other thing is, I'm celiac, which means I can't eat gluten, and eczema can be related to that as well. So I don't know, if you have other symptoms of celiac, it might be interesting to get checked for that, because the symptoms with that are canker sores or ulcers in your mouth, or you lose a lot of weight, you feel tired, you can feel bloated. There's all sorts of different things like that, but eczema is one of those things. And I used to have like little patches here, and I had one here before I was diagnosed. I don't know why that is, but if you think you might be celiac, that might be something to check out, because if you do need to be gluten-free, it's important that you do go gluten-free, because it can lead to cancer. Long term. If a lot of people don't want to say they're celiac because they're so thin. I enjoyed the slim part too. I was really skinny for a while and I loved it. So, you just got to give that up and be healthy, but go and look into that as well. And if you are going to get checked for celiac, make sure you have a gastroscopy, not just the blood test, because the blood test isn't conclusive. That's my only bit of knowledge, like Maudi. Oh, celiac is my specialty. Okay, do you recommend a Vitamix? Mary says.
Oh, spectacular. Wonderful tool to have if you want to become healthier, and in your home make raw soups and sauces and dressings and smoothies. It's an excellent way to blend your food beautifully. It's almost 100% you need one if you want to do a lot of raw food.
Yeah.
You don't need it if you're just going to do vegan food, but raw food,
we're loving it.
It's a good thing to have.
It's constantly being used at the moment. I just bought it with Maudi too.
I think we've used it almost 100 times.
We probably have.
Yeah.
Megan wants to know about honey in food in Ayurvedic teachings. They say it's not good to heat or cook with honey. Do you use it without heating? Do you use it but without heating it, or what diet do you follow? Is it vegan, raw food, vegetarian? Oh, okay. Are you vegan, raw food, vegetarian, or paleo? You're vegan.
Okay. So I try not to claim things. If people ask me at home, are you vegan? I tell them, no, I'm extremely healthy and I stay very healthy, but I don't eat red meat and I do not eat dairy. Because again, vegan people sometimes wear leather, have it in their car or their house. They don't eat honey. I eat honey, I eat bee pollen, I eat propolis, all these things.
Vegans don't eat honey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't eat honey. And no, I do not heat honey ever. I only use it for salad dressings and raw desserts and smoothies. And I do make hot tea and put it in that, but I don't bake with it. I don't cook with it, and I've never really used it on high heat. If you are, you're going to want to use maple syrup.
Okay. So people who like roast their vegetables with a bit of honey drizzled over the top, you would recommend they use maple syrup instead?
Yeah, I would probably make a marinade first, you know, use your vinegar, your whatever oils you pick. Make sure they're ones that work with high heat, so like sesame oil, coconut oil, safflower oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. Stay away from olive oil, stay away from walnut oil, stay away from avocado oil. When you're on high heat.
It's so technical, isn't it? Because really, the average person grows up thinking that you roast vegetables in olive oil. Well, I do.
Yes, but
you can't have them on that high heat, can you?
No, this is a beautiful stream of olive oil's fluid like a river. And when it's on high heat, it doesn't just become bumpy like a rocky river. It actually mutates and crumbles, and it looks like a fungus that's growing on a leaf of a plant, and it does that within your cells. So it's releasing carcinogenics, carcinogenic molecules.
I've heard that with people fighting cancer.
They deteriorate your cells, and over time, that's how you can get cancer. I don't like talking about that, but so stay away from olive oil, avocado oil, and just stick with sesame.
But you love olive oil in salad dressings and things.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so interesting, everybody. I'm learning just from this video. I thought I had heard so much of Maudi's talking, but now I'm learning more and more and more. Okay, Lauren wants to know, Lauren's the one who you met at the Camilla sale, wants to know, hello Lauren, do you activate / soak your nuts when you eat them, before you eat them?
If I'm going to eat my nuts or I'm going to use them in a raw dessert, I soak them. That makes them living again, but just make sure that you do not dehydrate them on top of that, because then you're putting the enzymes in them and the alkalinity, and a dehydrate takes the alkalinity out of the product. So if you are consuming dehydrated goods and they're raw goods, realize that they're not alkaline anymore. And not only that, when you eat these things, you need to drink a lot of water with them, or you'll get a big stomach ache, because they turn into a ball of Play-Doh in your stomach, because they're meant to have water in them, fruits and vegetables. And then the nuts and the seeds are great soaked, but then if you dehydrate them too, they all turn into one big ball of Play-Doh in your stomach, and you can get a big tummy ache. So drink a lot of water, and yes, soak your nuts.
So the other day we were talking about raw desserts and everything, and we were talking about cashew nuts. I want you to tell them this fact, because you know, sometimes you go to a raw place and they've got like these desserts with cashew cream on them. And you shocked me by this bit of information. Yeah,
I was telling Megan that cashews and macadamia nuts are extremely high in fat. You can have macadamia nuts. I don't have a problem with them. Try to get them raw, not roasted and salted. You want them raw. But cashews are actually, and peanuts are a legume. They're not a nut. So typically you should never eat them raw. And then they shouldn't be heated very high either, and they roast peanuts and they roast cashews.
Yeah.
So then they become extremely acidic, and then they put salt on them. So what happens when you go to a raw restaurant and you're eating cashews and there's cashew cream and on the desserts and the food, they're actually not supposed to be. They carry a lot of poisons in them, and that's why we can't have raw peanuts. And cashews are, you want to stay away from them. They're actually not a very good food for us at all. They'll give you a tummy ache. Our bodies can handle them again because we're amazing. Incredible. Our systems are amazing. They've been perfected, so they'll handle it. But stay away from them. It's better to have almond cream, walnut cream, macadamia nut cream, these things. But cashew cream is no good. It's a legume. It should never even be raw.
The cashew cream is so widely spread, really.
Yeah, the best way to eat it would be roasted over raw.
Yeah. So if let's say someone is dead set wanting to make cashew cream, what is the healthy way to do that? Because you said there was some...
You would probably want to steam them and then make it, but stay away from it completely in the raw category and just use another nut.
That is so interesting.
It is.
I thought I was so good at having cashew cream on things.
Yeah, but pine nut cream is just as amazing. Tahini and pine nut mixed with maple syrup is delicious.
Okay. Tracy, my gorgeous friend in Canada, she's going to go to the Pearl Laguna one of these days. Aren't you, Tracy? Yes, you are. She said, did you know we have lemons growing in the garden? She's being funny because Paul didn't like drinking the lemon juice. Incidentally, everyone, I'm not doing the lemon juice thing anymore, even though I told you I was doing it every day. I've stopped now because I started to feel that my teeth weren't feeling as good. And my teeth are my thing. You know, I haven't got any cavities or anything, and I don't want to wear the enamel off. And there's, you know, people who think that
Citrus can take the enamel off your teeth and apples if it's eaten on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It can actually recede your gums. And I used to eat a lot of citrus as a young girl, and I actually had an issue with that at my dentist. So I would stay away from eating citrus as a habitual, everyday thing.
Yeah, it's okay, like when I was at the Pearl, to do it for a week because you're detoxing.
That's
exactly.
Great. It's a great way to detox.
Yeah, so I'm not doing that every day anymore, just so you all know that. Okay, she's excited we might do a book. She said, have you met Lola Berry? Lola Berry's like a lovely Australian nutritionist who we love. No, she hasn't.
I haven't met her, no, but I would love to meet her.
She hears all about her from us. Okay, Tina says she liked all your info on acid foods, blah, blah, blah. Should we limit, I just recently started buying goat's cheese, raw nuts, raw honey, and I'm trying to find raw butter. Should we limit ourselves consuming these food? Raw is healthier because it's not been processed or pasteurized. Is that why it's healthier, because it hasn't been processed or pasteurized? Yes.
Yes, it's in its whole state. You shouldn't eat these things on a daily basis. They should be something on a holiday or a couple times a month, or maybe 4 times a month. I wouldn't eat them on a daily basis. The reason being, they're extremely high fat. A cow goes from being 100 pounds to 450 pounds in 1 year having milk and consuming milk from its mother, and then the mother calf will actually push the baby cow away and they don't consume milk. Human beings are the only animal out there that actually keeps consuming milk after we're done growing, and it's extremely unusual. So they are tasty, and I would have them, but just make sure that if you are gonna have them, that it's not an everyday thing, and it's, you know, in a balanced ratio.
Okay. Okay, next question is, Stella wants to know, how did you quit coffee? Well, she hasn't quit coffee. I quit it for a little while. I quit coffee when I went to the Pearl Laguna, and I quit for about a month before, and I just did it. I just thought, I don't want to go through all that detox stuff when I'm there.
I stopped drinking coffee for 4 years, and I didn't have it. But it really has to do is it's a stimulant, and it stimulates what's ever going on within your body. So if you're consuming a lot of sugar, alcohol, processed white flour, and not a lot of whole foods, like your whole foods is about this much, 10% of your diet, and the rest is this much, it's going to stimulate all that within your bloodstream, and it's going to stimulate whatever disease you have going on internally that you don't know about. So if you're full of vegetables, nuts, seeds, sprouts, and these things, it stimulates a lot of those within your body. You shouldn't have it all day. You shouldn't have more than, I'd say, you know, 2 cups of coffee a day in the morning. If you do have 1 cup, maybe 1 after lunch, but stay away from it after about noon. And you know, just make sure it's organic beans, and you're not using a lot of cream and not a lot of sugar. If you are doing dairy, maybe move down to 2% milk, or, you know, non-fat.
It's nice with soy milk.
It's great with soy milk if it's unsweetened and it's organic, and it's also great with almond milk. So try these things. I'm not against coffee. I think it can be a healthy alternative also to get people up in the morning if they're depressed and they need a little spark. So yeah, I did quit drinking coffee, and I stopped by just one day. You know, I said, hey, I've got great self-discipline, and I quit.
I don't have great self-discipline all the time, but I did quit.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was okay.
And I've watched you.
Really?
Good self-discipline.
That's nice. It's okay. And you know what? I did give it up, and I've only started having it because Maudi and Zoe are having them in the morning. So I thought, I'll have one because I haven't had one for ages. And while we're eating all this healthy food, I think it's fine. Yes. Yes. Georgia wants to know, is it good for you to live a gluten-free lifestyle even if you don't have celiac disease?
That doesn't matter. You know, as long as you're getting sprouted wheat, sprouted grains, these things are extremely good for you. I know that I actually function better when I have sprouted grains and wheat in my diet, meaning sprouted. They're soaked, they're organic, they're cultured. I'm not talking about wheat bran, wheat bread. Those things are poisonous. They're just about as white flour. Stay away from them. But if you don't have problems with gluten, there's no reason why you shouldn't be eating them. Just don't eat them every day. I hardly ever eat bread. I probably eat bread once a week or less.
Okay. Mel's, my friend, said, this is, I know what you're going to say. She has a wellness coach who's recommending bone broth in the winter to help her stay on top of things.
Well, I have to say, I don't eat meat, obviously, but, you know, I had a grandfather who's actually chewed on gristle and bone every day, and he had amazing bones, and that might be why I'm so flexible. You know what? I couldn't really say anything about that. I'm not saying people shouldn't eat meat. I'm saying it's not good every day, and it should be organic and blah, blah. So if you're going to do that and it works for you, just make sure it's an organic bone.
Yes. All right, everybody.
We're back.
We're back. Okay, Lauren said, does Maudi know anything about repairing the digestive system and optimizing gut flora? We kind of talked about with the fermented food thing before, so just rewind.
Again, lots of fermented food, lots of fiber, persimmons, dulse, seaweed, celery. Yeah, high alkalinity, lots of water, and aloe vera is extremely good for repairing the digestive tract, and flaxseed oil.
Okay, Kim says, is it safe to eat anything that God has created and humans haven't interfered with the exception of meat, fish, chicken and dairy? Yeah, pretty much, isn't it?
No, there's lots of herbs out there that are poisonous.
What, like that we can buy in the supermarkets?
Yes.
Really?
Well, not at the supermarkets, but at the health food store. You got to be careful when you come to the herb department, because there's ones out there that increase your appetite. Red clover, chamomile, marshmallow. I could go on and on. There's a lot of herbs out there that increase your hunger. Does
chamomile increase your hunger?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
You should never have chamomile tea before breakfast. Have it before evening, before bed.
I'm never having it again. What else? What else increases hunger? I know you guys will be interested in that because I am.
Red clover. It's an herb out there. It's in a lot of herbal teas, actually. Be aware, you know, you go to a coffee shop, get an herbal tea. You might want to read what's in it, because red clover is an obscene. It'll make you very hungry. Also, papaya is another stimulant, but not the inside papaya, the papaya seeds. So if you go to vegan restaurants, sometimes if they're against black pepper, they use the inside of the pepper, the seed inside the papaya, and they dry it and use it as a pepper alternative. And that is an obscene amount of, increases your hunger.
That's the most interesting fact of the whole video.
We'll actually make a whole video about all the herbs and things out there that'll stimulate your hunger, because I could think of about 20.
Okay, we'll do that for one of our nighttime videos. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I bet you're all sitting there shocked as well out there. Odetta said coconut oil. What's your views on coconut oil?
Excellent. Wonderful. Just make sure that if you're trying to lose weight, you don't consume a lot of it, because it will, right when you eat coconut, your body burns it. Now, if you eat 500, 1,000 calories of coconut, your body will burn every single bit of that, but whatever else you're eating goes in storage until you burn that off. So meaning, if you only burn 1,500 calories a day and you eat a lot of coconut, it's gonna burn the coconut first, and it won't even go into the other food properties that you're eating. Keep it on a low ratio, and then if you're thin, you're slender, and you're happy with your weight, you know, you can eat a lot of coconut. It's extremely good for your digestive tract and for your metabolism. But, you know, fats should only be about 5 to 15% of your diet.
That's a good reason to get slim, just so I can have more of that coconut butter.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Me too.
Oh my God. Sometimes when we're having a treat from Maudi, we're allowed to have a spoonful of coconut butter. And so
not coconut oil, coconut butter.
It's so good.
It's the meat, the water, and the oil all blended into one.
And here comes Zoe. Where, just one quick question before you go off to the market and then we come back again. Where did you learn to cook the way that you do? And can you recommend any courses?
Of course. A lot of people have asked me where I learned to cook, and that's great. I get standing ovations. It's the coolest thing that ever happens. And I tell them I'm kind of like Beethoven, but with food. I'm gifted in that way. You know, actually, someone here in your country once told me that they have the second highest rated restaurant in the world, and if I was in their restaurant, that it would be rated #1, and I thought that was a great compliment. And to tell you the truth, it's a God-given gift, and I'm very gifted with it. But on the other hand, there's an institute called Hippocrates, in the United States that's excellent for macrobiotic food. Also, the Kashi Institute is excellent for that as well. And then again, the woman who I spoke about earlier, who's a dietitian,
the rest of people.
Rita Romano runs classes out of Daytona, Florida and New York City, where she teaches food combination and a macrobiotic raw diet.
As if I haven't learned enough from you, but you know, like...
It's basically a lot of things I've taught you. I've actually taken her course, but a lot of the things with flavor and this and that, it's one thing to know a lot about health food, but be able to prepare it and make people who, you know, are eating these really tasty things switch over. You got to have that little knack of making it flavorful.
I wonder if I can change the locks and lock you into the house so you can't leave.
I'd get out. I'm a ninja.
Hang on, how many more questions? We've only got 3 more questions. Okay. She says, we've already answered that. Are you're self-taught? Oh, okay, I'll ask it properly. Are you self-taught? Are you a chef, a nutritionist, dietitian, or an alternative health practitioner?
Okay, I'm not an alternative health practitioner. I am a nutritionist in our country, back in the US. A dietitian, I don't have any certificate for that, but I would qualify myself for that. And yes, I am self-taught, but my degree at home is in horticulture.
As if you didn't think she knew enough about, you know, all that. She's also amazing with horticulture. Shelley said, what are your thoughts on apple cider vinegar in the first thing in the morning with warm water?
Excellent, wonderful. If you have small infections going on in your system, it wipes them out of your bloodstream, and it's an excellent thing to just keep
a good
pH within your intestinal wall. It won't hurt your teeth at all.
So we could have that instead of the lemon juice. Yeah. If we wanted to do that.
But we've been having it every day in our elixir.
Oh yeah, we have these yummy elixirs. That'll be in the book. Yes. Someone wants to know if you want to go and spend time with them in Sydney. Amanda, don't you? She's laughing. No, I'm keeping her here. And then she has to go home to the Pearl Laguna.
And all my other jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's it. That was fun, wasn't it?
I love Megan.
I love Maudi.
She's amazing, and she's shrinking day by day. It's amazing.
Her skin is looking so good.
I
don't know what I'm going to do when you leave.
You have excellent self-discipline. You're going to stay just like this.
And I'm going back to the Pearl in October anyway, and I'll see you again there.
Yes.
Bye.
Good night.